Richard, you know how Richard is. It'll be nonchalant. Oh yeah, it's going up about 50,000x. You know.
Well, somebody posted a tweet from RG3 in her comments from 2021 where RG3 said, "If you all knew what I know, oh my, be diligent Hexicans." And she commented on that down beneath it. She said, "That's from 2021. The things I know took place after 2022. Whatever RG3 knew supposedly wasn't enough to take us to global heights. This might be."
Let's
Yep.
see. Are y'all scared to go global?
No, not me.
Not you. You're not scared to go global. Think about that now.
Why would we be scared? Pump my bags.
Oh, the attention for the sacrifices. Oh, that attention is something
Well,
else.
that's why I don't like to announce it sometimes.
Yeah, you already feeling the fame.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, I don't. I used to be proud of it, and I was like, yeah, I did. But now I just stay quiet.
Well, you're definitely. We're all going to be the envy of the finance industry for sure.
Yeah, that's like
Um,
exactly. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
you said that's like what?
I was gonna say like Rome was in here last night, and Hexy tried to get him to come over and buy a token on Pulsechain, and Rome he doesn't get on Pulsechain. He said something about it was like Pulsechain was the ghetto or something, and I was like, and he talked about that, and after we do what we're gonna do, man, he's gonna have so much regret.
I know he needs to come in here and speak to me.
He won't. He's stuck on blocks, and that's okay. But I he's I told him. Yeah, he asked me what I was doing last night. I think I was like, I'm making money while y'all are spending money. It's like, but they can do both. Like, I want to just try and I don't want to say teach him because I mean, yeah, I do want to teach him, but I don't want him to
Yeah,
like think he's
please
inferior
don't
or
let
anything.
him. Please don't let him get left behind. Please
Well,
don't do it.
BTC
'Cause,
Gold too. BTC Gold. We got yeah.
yeah, BTC Gold, you have to come through, man. I
He's
love
on
your
Pulse
knowledge.
Chain. He's doing some things on Pulse Chain. We got
Oh
him
yeah,
to yeah a little bit. Yeah.
cool, cool, cool. I mean,
I told him last night. I said buy some Pulse or Pulse X. You'll have a double when the next pump comes.
yeah, the double. That's low.
I know. I'm just. That's being.
That's the entry point there. Yeah,
That's good. That's good enough to fall. Go for. I mean, the next pump is going to send it. Into a new high, and that's a double from where it's at now.
yeah, but I think it's gonna be. You might as well double that double.
Hmm.
'Cause,
I don't know how far to go after that double, but
um,
uh,
yeah,
and I don't want to
yeah.
guarantee anything either. But I'm pretty sure it's.
Oh, I, I'm so far away from guarantee that it sounds like it.
I'm confident, but not. Don't take my advice, as they say. I'm not your
I'm,
financial advisor, but I
I'm,
still want you
I'm
to buy
looking,
some Pulsex.
I'm looking at it like if confidence is an understatement, yeah. I just hope everybody come to Pulse, get through the 20 steps, have that patience, and take that glory road, man. I've learned something, and I'm gonna, just like you said, take action. Right? I'm not gonna come back into hex because I learned the truth about things. Right? Doesn't mean I won't still be on Pulse. I'm just saying. All right. I don't think of in terms of my own bags. I think of of every perspective, and I go by truth. Truth. A truth is what he used as a reason why not to use Ethereum or Hex, eHex, is the exact same thing is going to happen to PHEX. If nothing changes as far as updates, Pulse Chain is going to go the same way. It's going to cost $200 to do certain things, to end stakes. It's going to cost $20 just to send. It's no different. Because if you take the amount of people that are on Ethereum and place them and do those same transactions here, we've had a million. It cost $1 million Pulse to do a transactions at times on Ethereum when it got busier. That's at the time that was like $80. You understand that, right? So if that's the case, when you stake, you're still paying the S load. The same thing. It's copying it. It's loading it. And guess what? If that's the case, it's the $80 things after 5 years or 3 years even. You're paying that
$100 to unstake. This is no different. So we already know that it's gotten busy at times, and the cost has gone way up. Like during the Zen stuff, the minting. Yeah, it was crazy. Things got way high. So that's truth. That's just the way reality is as of right now. And if that's the case, that means that when that comes to that point all the time, yes, people that own Pulse right now can afford it, but a lot of people won't. And so that's the truth. And that's what I'm saying is that I take the words of what people say and I apply it to everything, not just the situation. But I also, maybe it's a narrative. I'm not stupid. It could be just a narrative for Richard to accomplish what he wants to accomplish too. But, but yeah, I understand what you're saying, Hector. It's just I'm not talking about. I don't onboard people with a couple $100 to Ethereum. I onboard them to Pulsechain, but I don't onboard people that are starting out with $100,000 in funds into Pulsechain directly. They start in Ethereum because that's where the liquidity is, right? Or now it's getting the liquidity is building in Pulsechain, but still it's a new technology, and these guys aren't just going to throw a big amount of money into something that's only a few months old. You know what I mean? So
Trust me, I understand your points. You have some really good points. You said a lot in a short time, and I'll just have to kind of break down the scheme because no, it's not about $100 buys. It's about all buys, no matter if it's 100 or 100 million, right? So, okay, so I'm gonna try to get this point across without confusing you. Okay, the emotional confusion. When and a lot of people wouldn't know this, and I don't expect people to know this. When you onboard someone to a chain, or just in crypto in general, you have to have the years of knowledge and experience in order for people to know what they're talking about. Because some people run off of narratives and then invite someone to that narrative, and it could be crucial for all parties, as we see or we hear. But here's the thing: when we onboard, we have to really know our product. We really have to know our product before we onboard anything. We have to know, like, most people who onboard people probably have a 9 to 5. They do not have the time to research and study everything on post chain. But when the hype comes through, oh, everybody researches the hype. So that's what they're going off of when they onboard people, the hype. But this is where onboarding goes wrong in many instances, many chains, many industries. Onboarding goes wrong when we think the hype is the education, and then we onboard people onto the hype instead of the actual foundation of the technology. You can ask anybody's onboards, do they 100% understand what you understand? And that you probably get most of the people saying they only understand about 25% of it. Now that's dangerous. We're in dangerous territory at this point. Then you get that relationships breaking, friendships breaking, because they only understood 25% of what they're putting this money into. Because what the onboarder learned was the hype, not the technology, the hype, the possibility, what could happen. But that's where onboarders are making that crucial mistake, onboarding on hype. And if they don't understand the cons as well as the pros, which the first thing they understand is the pros. So if they do not understand the cons, and yes, we have the S load, and ask how many onboarders what is an S load. This is what I
yeah,
mean.
yeah. I was speaking about myself, not about the thing about odd borders. I was talking about what Richard did and what he said. He said that since EHEX doesn't work, PX is not going to work eventually, and the same thing's going to happen. And that's what I was saying. I was talking about that. But our onboards, I get what you're saying, 100%. I don't onboard people during bull market. I only
Right.
onboard
Not
people
not
during
speaking
the bear.
about you in general, but
But yeah,
I'm saying most people I run across in these chats, they come in and they're coming in off they're spewing words or paragraphs from the hype they learned when they got onboarded. And when I started noticing that, I know everybody that been here already heard me say this, but I have a phrase called number go down, right? And this is where you sell one token for another, but the number go down on your token you sold. That you're still not in profit. So when these people come in with hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars to come buy Hex, Richard made it to where you're losing the dollar, so to speak, but you're gaining this yield to cover some of that. Like it's kind of like how exchanges give you a 25% discount for buying a token on when you're trading. It kind of relieves some of the financial pressure, so to speak. But if you have a portfolio and you know how a portfolio is ran, then you will understand that the best thing to do is not to trade any of your assets. It's to borrow against your portfolio. Most people that come into crypto, they do not know that. They come in, they get onboarded. Oh, go ahead and buy Hex. Most people I've onboarded, they know generally what I know. I don't have to explain super technical details, but they do know how to run a portfolio. And this is where the education lies when people come in and think they're gonna come in and have a golden ticket to Willy Wonka's, or win the lottery. But if they do not know how to run a portfolio, they probably will not be successful in any industry because of number go down. And for them to have $100,000 in Hex and then sell at $20,000 to let me know that the onboard didn't do their job at all. Yeah, people don't understand that running your own portfolio. Usually, your bank runs your portfolio for you. They'll probably warn you and be like, "Oh, you have a negative balance. Oh, this and that. Maintenance fee. That sometimes the bank will run, people used to their banks running their portfolio for them, but they're not used to running their portfolio themselves. So you see, that's why you see a lot of losses in crypto because number go down. Like Humble, say you had on one side you had Bitcoin and on the other side you had Pulse, and then you go trade, let's say 10 and 10 on each side, and you go trade 10 Pulse and go buy BTC, right? But you just lost that 10 Pulse. Now your portfolio negativity is in the red. Your negative number is in the red. So now that you have more BTC, but you're trading the real asset, and the thing is, you want to keep both assets at 10 and borrow against them. Use that stable coin or whatever you're getting collateral, whatever your collateral or whatever you're getting for it. You're supposed to double that. That's where Hex come in. You use that borrowed money, go ahead and put it in Hex, get that yield, add on to your 10 on each side from that yield. You add from it, even if you don't put it in instantly right then and there. If you locked it up for 15 years, 15 years later, you should have more than 10 on this side and more than 10 on that side, just straight off of using one or the other as collateral to actually borrow a hex state. So if people don't understand how to build a portfolio, they're going to lose their money every time because they're trading their real asset. So if something does go to 100,000 and then it drops down to 20,000, it doesn't matter. You still have those same 10 tokens. So what you do is tell them to hold or tell them to borrow against it. Use that 20 grand and go earn some interest off of it. Do not sell, because when you sell your hard assets, you're losing, and you're losing. Number go down. You're 10 going to 9, you're 9 going to 8, you're 8 going to 7. You're losing every single time. You're losing. It's too much free money on these chains to where you don't where it's pretty much zero to borrow, but you're getting 45 to 80% APR on a stable coin. So if you worried about $100,000 drop to 20,000, you borrowed at 20,000, go get that 45 to 80% APR, start buying back that token that's in that drop from that interest increase it back up to that 100,000. Now you got that 20,000. You can pay that back. You'll have more token on that side. If that token rises, you get what I mean. So it's about keeping the hard assets. A lot of people sold their EHEX, which I think was not a great idea. And in the grand scheme of things of a portfolio, you do not sell your hard assets. Borrow against it. Borrow against that $20,000 and try to get some of this APY out here.
No, I agree. I have all my EX. Actually, I got more of it now. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So in the grand scheme of things, if you're running a portfolio, you should never lose. You shouldn't lose at all. You borrow. I mean, you literally on Pulsechain, you can literally borrow for 0% and a fee, and you go somewhere like Portal Swap or Earn and go get you 45 to 80% APR on 20 grand. You never lost, and that's why people didn't do their due diligence on if you're going to be a financial advisor, right? If you're going to be a financial advisor to someone, you're onboarding in crypto, because that's basically what you are, kind of like a financial advisor, because you probably have some hand in maintaining their portfolio. And this is where a lot of people in crypto go wrong when they try to onboard people, especially people with enormous amounts of cash or fiat. So it's just like, if I onboard this person, my bag will go up. But here's the thing: you don't know where this person got that cash from in the first place. It might be their last. It might be equity from the home. I mean, if onboards were more, if people who are onboarding were more mature with what they're doing with their onboards, then I don't think any friendships would be ending. And this goes back to studying and the people who onboard people not knowing the full spectrum of what, when you invest in somebody, you got to be able to know if they're researched. If they're researched, your money is only going to go to max of their research.
Absolutely. The people on board, they are people that hold multi-millions, in their investments.
So they're used to in a
So it's not a big
portfolio.
deal. Yeah.
So
And so
you
like
had
yeah,
it easy, right? So you kind of had it
right.
easy.
Yeah.
I can't say that for others. Others might have had it very difficult. People putting their last in, they're taking equity out of their homes, they're refinancing their vehicles, holding off on that fence payment, or a lot of people probably never didn't have it easy as you. That's why the Twitter kind of went off like it did, I believe.
Yeah. 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 So I was confusing because I was talking about. I started off with like my personal thoughts on it moving forward, and then it rolled over to it turned into like people that are getting all emotional. Like, what do we learn from this kind of thing? So.
And it's literally the onboarder. It's really the person who onboards. It's really the fault to them because they didn't do their due diligence. They were running off the hype and the narratives and the hype and the possibility. They were running off of things that were not proven. That's the problem. Like, if you're running off things that are not proven, then your onboards have a high risk of investing in your research.
Yeah, my onboards for EHEX have been, they started buying at, between a third of a cent to a fifth of a cent. You know what I mean? So it's like not as bad as that, but I don't imagine people that were buying it up until the end. you know?
Yeah. It's funny, but it's not. The two masks, smiling and crying. So it's just the knowledge of who's doing the onboarding. What are they telling these onboards? Oh, Hex is going to go back to its all-time high. Yeah, Hex is going to hit 10 cents again. But these people who are onboarding do not even know how markets work, especially the ones who got their onboards ready.
Right.
So
Most onboards based off trust,
that's it.
listing and sale.
That's it. It's,
It's your sphere of influence,
yeah,
right?
that's it.
So
Straight trust.
that's the issue that's going on Twitter right now, or was,
Right,
is that
right. So now,
people use their circle of trust, and now it's been shaken, and it's proved that it was false,
yeah.
and it's not worth as much as that they thought it was.
See, and there it is. The circle of trust is broken. And think about it. How many years it took to build up that trust in that circle to let it all fall in a matter of a candle. You just have to get better as like the I look at people like a Wild SJ, Crypto Coffee. These people are I think they're onboarding the correct way. They're not making huge promises. They're showing these on boards step by step, guiding them. It's really the best conduit for onboarding. Literally, a lot of people just grab the money and put it in crypto, and the onboard don't even know what's going on. But the way some of the people in the Pulsechain tour, they guide you step by step, hold your hand. They want to make you learn what you're doing, you're using, you're investing in. And I think that's the best way to go about it, instead of promoting hype in order to get this millionaire down the street to invest in your bag. And the Pulse Chain Tour, I think, is doing it the correct way.
Yeah, that's why when things get hot, I'm hardly ever on Twitter. When money starts flowing and candles turn green, it's like, I don't even go on strip Twitter because I don't need to get caught up in that, right?
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they're gonna try to teach these onboards. Look at this. Look how. See, the first thing that most people do is show their onboards. Look how much I've made in crypto. But these onboards, that's all they see. If that's all they see, they're gonna be upset when they don't get what you get. They're gonna be upset, just like you saw recent, not too far back. It was people. It was people. The people who onboard people. Those people were upset at Richard for the things that they were promoting to their onboards. How can you be upset at Richard for what you were promoting to your onboards? Did you teach your onboards hold their hand in a sense? Or did you say, look at my crypto portfolio. Look how much I've made this year. I'm up 20,000%. You're going to get two different type of results every time. Every time.
Yeah, the expectations you build can cause a lot of harm.
Or do you tell your onboards, hey, come over here. I'll guide you. Hey, let's mint a couple of NFT drops for you. You may be able to use them later for some collateral as collateral later on in life. Who knows, right? I'd rather show you a route where it's worth your time.
Yeah, I can see how people would be upset, but Richard put that tweet out last May after launch. I think it was the day after launch. Something about the market had decided that P Hex was the real Hex or something like that, and he didn't tell anybody to sell. He was just stating things that were true about Hex on Ethereum, and everybody just kind of, they're like, oh, if Richard feels this way, then I'm gonna sell, and everybody just sold, but he never told anybody to sell, and
Right.
he, you know what I
No, but he knows the influence he has. That's the thing.
But here,
So there was
here,
there was a complete intent. There was intent there. There had to be, because he knows what happens every time he live streams or he texts or he tweets. You know what I mean? It's there had to be intent there. That's all I'm going to say. Because you're right. The market did. He sent that out before, even before that. People were saying that, and they found a ratio. It was staying at that ratio. And then guess what happened? He went even deeper into it, and then explained it even more, and then the way he said it. I don't know how you. I mean, when I read that tweet, I was about to take off on an airplane, and I was just thinking, oh wow, I have some liquidity between Hex and EHEX. I can't believe I'm not home right now,
Yeah, I had.
because I would immediately pull
Yeah,
that, and I'm not mad that I have all EHEX now, which is no big deal. But if I'm thinking that, what all I can say is that I stop. I'm like, well, I know exactly what's going to happen now, and that's what happened. I mean, what do you expect is going to happen when Richard tweets something like that? So like, it wasn't a nice thing. It wasn't like logically like hey, this is like we found out, and looks like we found the ratio or anything. It was, hey, EX doesn't work on Ethereum anymore. Yes, like the market has shown this, and it thought PX was the shit, and I'm paraphrasing here. You know what I mean? He knew what was going to
well,
happen,
the way, yeah.
and that's really
No,
dangerous.
you're right, man. Everything you said's right. The way I looked at it though is I looked at it like he was letting people know that they needed to be in PHEX, because he wasn't going to pump EHEX. That's the way I saw it, at least.
I seen it very similar. I felt like he was really hurt by people staking and ending staking stakes for $1,000, and it just made me realize how much he really do care about the ecosystem, because
I want you to go on the chain and show me where there's any stakes that are small stakes being staked on Ethereum, because there's not. So somebody can say that, but if you go on chain, that's why we're here. You're not going to find small stakes. You might find some stakes that are like um, that like when it gets busy, yeah, it's not like 200 now. It's for here's the thing, it's nobody's doing really long stakes. Like if they're doing short stakes, they're doing decent sized short stakes, and the stakes don't cost per 100 after a month or 30 or 90 or even 6 months. They don't cost that much. They're $15 to unstake. They're $30 to unstake. You know what I mean? So the ones that he was supposedly protecting, they aren't at risk. Like the people onboarding in Ethereum, they're not telling them to stake. You know what I mean? So there was none of that going on in the first place, and if it was, it was really stupid and really small amount of people. And so that's what I'm saying. It's like you can say all you want about this, but if you go on chain, you're not going to see those stakes that he's talking about. Nobody is staking small stakes on Ethereum, and to say such a thing is irresponsible. But who knows? Who knows? Whatever. But Iceman, just so you know, like, please go tell me who's staking on Ethereum. With a little bit of money. Nobody. If they have a little bit of money, they're staking on Pulsechain, right? So only the whales and people with like multiple thousands of dollars for staking Hex on Ethereum.
and
Not the people you see in here,
and that's fine,
right?
but a minus $1,000 is a minus $1,000 regardless of 100 or 100 million, right?
Yeah. So, but nobody views it that way. So please tell me who views it that way. No one does on
Everyone who
on
knows
that.
how to run a portfolio views it that way.
Yeah, but the ones that are running a portfolio aren't doing small stakes on Ethereum. But I'm just
Right.
saying there was like people are starting this narrative about Richard Hart and why he did it, and he said the same thing. But the truth is nobody was doing that, and it already found its ratio. And the thing is, what they're not saying is that, hey, like they said, it hit that BankX wall, and that BankX wall was a big heavy weight that PHEX had to pull up, which Pulse was pulling PHEX up, and Pulsex, the ink was pulling everything up, and then everything else was pulling PHEX up, and then PHEX was pulling EHEX up, and that weight was too much. So hence, what I think is that okay. What I think is that's what was causing it. It was weighing it down. You're welcome. It was weighing down what he was trying to do on Pulsechain. But now, guess what? This is what I'm hoping, by the way. So, what is the liquidity on Ethereum? It's like minuscule, right? And all the liquidity is on Pulsechain. So now, when Richard pumps Ink or Pulsex or Pulse, it's going to pull EHEX up, no problem now, because there's zero liquidity on Ethereum, and so all the liquidity is on Pulsechain. So now it's a whole new game, right? And so if that was the case, why he did it, he accomplished what he wanted. The only problem is that the ratio, it's a real low ratio. I think the ratio is going to go back close to where it was eventually.
Of course it, of
But
course, of
which
course it is. Because think about it. When was the best time to get in Bitcoin? With zero liquidity or the liquidity where it is now?
course is zero.
Of course it's gonna pull up. It's liquidity bonded.
But anyways, that was my thoughts on all that.
No, you have some very, very great points. Very great points.
But as far as your point goes, as far as running a portfolio, most people gain their knowledge or financial knowledge in the losses they take here in the crypto sphere. And so this is where they learn how to run their portfolio, what does and what doesn't. And if they don't learn what doesn't work, then they will always be broke, right? But if they do learn from it, say like, oh, my knowledge, since 2016, 2015, 2016 has been, when I learn something from somebody on like, things I can do, I go and I implement it and I try it with my own money. And then I learn from it. And I'm like, well, is it true? Yep, no, okay. And then if I lost money, I learn from it. I'm not going to do that again. And then I improve my knowledge and like liquidity providing. That's something that you really learn fast. If you don't learn fast, you're going to, there's a good chance you're going to lose your money, right? So trading, short-term trading, same thing. You learn fast. If you don't, about emotional trading, you are going to be broke. It's just these financial principles. Investing is long term. You'll do better. Like Richard says, it's the short version is that traders don't profit. Holding does, right? And pretty much what he's saying is that the longer term vision that you have, the more likely you're going to make money, right? But these are all principles people either they learn or they become broke over time, right? So, but in this world, nobody teaches financial stuff unless you're actually the one going out looking for it, right? Reading, going to take courses, learning accounting, whatever it may be.
And these should be
But
your
schools don't teach
onboards.
it.
These should be the ones that's learning the finance, the ones that's learning liquidity pools. These are the people who should be onboarding other people, not the people who
Well, that's
came
not
in.
crypto then.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right. Right.
But we won't have volatility, in this market. It would be a mature market then, right? Then we're looking at 8% gains, not 10x, not 100x, right? And the whole point of crypto is that it's not efficient,
No,
and it's
no,
not
no.
efficient
That's
because the people aren't.
the reason that isn't true, because the reason these 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 stability comes in the market is because people are borrowing against their assets. And then they move the market that way. They do not.
Right? No, but yeah, but it like that's what I'm saying. Like the people that don't have the knowledge create inefficient markets,
Right.
right? They don't use like Pidius. They just go straight and to Pulsex or like a place just and they lose money in their trade. They don't know it. They don't know better, or they hear something negative on the news and they're like, oh no, I got to sell everything. And well, or I'm buying because it's on the news. Well,
Right.
when they're doing that, the savvy people are selling. It's the reason why crypto is so volatile is because of that inefficient, and I say inefficient market because there's less liquidity, but there's also more emotions, stupid decisions being made, right? And so you see people that are making multi-million-dollar trades into no liquidity because they don't know any better, and which creates volatility, right? So that's what I meant by inefficiency. Markets are inefficient here because due to the fact that the people you're talking about that are being onboarded are not financially savvy, So and that's what creates the volatility.
That is correct. That's really how markets are made anyways, right? It's the rush of people that do not know any better, and the only thing these rush of people do is make portfolio holders richer. That's why I usually say the quote, number go down.
I absolutely love Pulsechain. Love it, love it, love it. The amount of yield I'm getting from all my investments is unbelievable.
That's right. I think it's a difference between message and interpretation. So the message can be placed, but the interpretation that's what I blame it on. I blame it on interpretation.
Yep, because one message can be said, and what I hear is not the same as what somebody that zero financial knowledge hears.